Happening now, the message from Jamestown's mayor to the would-be thieves who stole an Underground Railroad statue. Plus, no charges in a fatal accident that killed a young skateboarder.
Well, that sun is out there for today, and it's actually being muddled a little bit with some cloudiness, but the good weather is here to stay for a while. We'll talk about it next as the news at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Jamestown's mayor is calling the thief of a statue honoring the city's Underground Railroad history a hate crime. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Mayor Eddie Sundquist tells us he feels the would-be thieves who stole the more than 500-pound copper statue over the weekend did not realize the significance of their act.
It's a hate crime, and we need to be clear about that.
Jamestown police say a witness spotted what is believed to be the stolen statue in the back of an older model pickup truck on Saturday. That witness telling detectives they observed the figure in the back of the truck, which had a wooden tailgate installed.
We were told it's 500 to 600 pounds, which obviously is more than one person could probably handle. So our belief is that it's at least two people, if not more. And again, with that, it probably would take some sort of pickup truck or a truck where you could put it into.
As for why the statue was stolen, the captain points to its projected $2,000 value.
One theory is that this was taken for scrap, and that's probably most likely what did occur. We don't know that for sure yet, but unfortunately, this piece was worth quite a bit of money for scrap metal and copper.
He says the thieves likely talked about the crime to others in the community. He's hoping that the increased media attention will draw tips that could lead to an arrest. However, Mayor Sundquist explains if they come forward now, the offenders could face lesser penalties.
Now is the time for you to understand how important something like that is to the community, a representation of our history. We want you to just make sure it gets returned, right? At this point, we'd say no questions asked, put it on the side of the street, let us know it's there so that we can make sure it gets placed back properly where it deserves to be.
Anyone who may have seen the truck or who may know who the truck would belong to is asked to contact the Jamestown Police Department at 716-483-7537. Anonymous tips can be left at 483-TIPS. Now, the sculpture, which was brought out of winter storage last Thursday and reinstalled at the park, was first reported missing on Monday morning. Well, the 19-year-old driver, who police say struck and killed a skateboarder in the town of Ellery this week, will not face charges in the case. New York State Police tell WNY News Now after conducting an investigation into the accident, they determined that the fatal crash was just that, an accident. Troopers explained there was no evidence the young driver was operating his vehicle recklessly or distracted at the time. 22-year-old Brandon E. Miller was riding his skateboard on Route 430 in the town of Ellery around 9 o'clock Sunday when he was hit by the 2011 Chevy Malibu operated by the team. First responders attempted life-saving measures, including CPR and using an AED unit, until paramedics arrived. However, E. Miller was pronounced dead at the scene. Well, it seems like a simple question. Can people who are vaccinated against COVID-19 get back to work? But the head of the CDC wouldn't give a definite answer on a hearing in Capitol Hill yesterday. Instead, the director says the agency is working on updating their guidelines. As more and more Americans get vaccinated, some are also getting frustrated with the federal recommendations that could seem outdated. Isabel Rosales in Washington with more.
Thank you.
As President Joe Biden meets virtually with a group of governors, some of the youngest Americans, 12 to 15-year-olds, got vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm going to be able to go more places without being scared of getting COVID-19.
CDC data shows that as of Monday, nearly half of all Americans, 46%, received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine.
If we continue to vaccinate people at the rate that we're doing, we will begin to return to the normality that all of us desire so much.
People are already starting to go out more and wear masks less. According to a new poll, 54% said they went to a restaurant in the last week. That's a pandemic high. And the number of people wearing masks whenever they leave the house is down to 58%, the lowest point since last June.
We know that masks make a big difference indoors. They don't outdoors.
The CDC says less than 10% of COVID-19 infections studied occurred outside. But a review from the New York Times found no documented COVID infection anywhere in the world from casual outdoor interactions, such as walking past someone on a street or eating at a nearby table.
The conflicting, confusing guidance from your agency has undermined public confidence.
Now, some lawmakers urge the CDC to rethink mask mandates and update other COVID guidance quickly.
You gotta realize, you gotta be more real time.
In Washington, I'm Isabel Rosales.
Isabel, thank you. That poll we mentioned, it found Americans are feeling more comfortable with traveling. About 30% of respondents said they made summer plans in the last week. Well, water main flushing that was delayed due to high water levels last month will now happen this week. The Jamestown Board of Public Utilities announced that the Faulkner flushing has been rescheduled for Thursday and Friday. The village flushing, normally performed on Saturday night, overnight into Sunday, will now take place after 8 p.m. Thursday and into Friday. Flushing is expected to be completed by midday Friday. The pre-flush normally conducted prior to the actual event is going to start around 8 a.m. Thursday morning. This pre-flush, officials say, may affect customers in the areas of Aldrin, Mapleshade, Ralph, and Valmere. Now, customers are reminded that the flushing process can expect to create some discolored water in the Faulkner area, and residents on the north side of Jamestown could see it too. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. We always love to hear from you. It's great to see Lisa. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Great to see Kayla, Betty, Vicky, Connie, Michael, and Don as well. Hopefully you all are having a great Wednesday out there. Well, now let's get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by live in studio with that. Welcome back, Dakota.
Hey, Justin, and happy Wednesday, everybody. Feels more like a Tuesday to me. Had a little unscheduled time off yesterday, but I'm back and feeling good. I wanted to mention one thing before we get into weather. In Griffin, Georgia, people are drilling holes in gas tanks of empty U-Haul trucks to get gas. Don't be a bonehead. Don't do stuff like that. All right.
We actually have more on the gas situation coming up.
Yes,
so
I just saw that on the
tuned
tweeter looking at my iPad. So please don't do stuff like that.
You gotta love the tweeter. There's all such.
I know. There's always action on the tweeter. Good amount of clouds coming through downtown Warren. Justin, I'm going to test your weather smarts. Do you know what kind of clouds these are?
I always go with cumulonimbus. Is that right?
They're actually cumulus clouds, not cumulonimbus. You were close. I'll give you a half star. Cumulus clouds are always representative of good weather, and we have that around here. You can see the clouds coming up on the satellite and radar composite. There they are. Those are those cumulus clouds starting to build in, but they're fair weather clouds. So that means no rain is going to be falling out of them. And the chance of rain over the next 5 days, really minimal. Over the next 5 days here, Friday, only a 25% chance, and it's really small at that. But we will see a little bit of rain into early next week, but it's not going to be a big deal. We'll talk about that later. 45 was the high yesterday, 87 and 26, record highs and lows for today. So through the afternoon, 54 to 59, a good deal of sunshine. A few of those cumulus clouds mix in at times, still chilly, but warmer than it was yesterday. Now, tomorrow should be another nice day. The temperatures kind of go up from here. We'll talk about it with that full 7-day forecast later in the show. Justin.
All right, Dakota. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Well, Senate Republicans in New York have introduced a dozen bills aimed at safeguarding police officers and law-abiding citizens. The group of lawmakers say the package includes a bill that would strengthen penalties for assaulting a police officer and a bill that would enhance the penalty for resisting arrest from a Class A misdemeanor to a Class C felony. Columbia County Sheriff David Barlett, also the president of the New York State Sheriff's Association, stood with Republicans to call for the passage of these bills. He says the importance of strong public support for law enforcement and public trust cannot be overstated.
We go out and put our lives on the line every day, whether it's dealing with crime or over the past year dealing with COVID, being on front lines. And it's been tough, and I cannot thank these men and women enough for the bills that they're trying to pass. I wouldn't be the only police officer here today. Everything's shut down here at the Capitol, or else we would be standing down on the staircase with hundreds of police officers supporting them.
Another piece of legislation in the package would establish May 15th as Police Memorial Day and would require the governor to appear in person at a ceremony and read out loud the names of officers who died that year in the line of duty. Well, former Westchester County Executive Rob Astorino says he'll run for governor in 2022 in what would be his second bid to unseat Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo. As New York State Capitol correspondent Karina Capabianca reports, Astorino is among three others vying for the Republican Party's nomination.
This is a time to think outside.
Rob Astorino was the Republican-backed candidate for governor in 2014 against Andrew Cuomo. Despite losing in the general election, he's decided to make another run for it this time around.
I'm running so much against Andrew Cuomo and just as much against the system in Albany that is completely and utterly broken.
Cuomo said he would run for a fourth term back in 2019, but this March he said it wasn't a day for politics when asked if he would still do so as he faces multiple scandals. Astorino says his campaign will focus on education, the economy, and lowering taxes. He says his previous experience running against Cuomo and his election wins in Westchester County, which typically swings blue, makes him stand apart in the field. While Lewis County Sheriff Michael Carpinelli was the first GOP candidate to make the decision to run, it's Congressman Lee Zeldin who has raised more than $2.5 million. Zeldin has already gained significant support from county leaders, but Astorino says the election will be a long process and that Republican voters will be the ones ultimately making the choice.
The fact that, a certain amount of county chairs has thrown their endorsement behind one particular person at this point is literally meaningless to me.
Astorino is taking his first trip as a candidate to tour different parts of the state this week. Zeldin has completed 5 statewide trips since his announcement to run. In Albany, Karina Capabianca.
Karina, thank you. Cuomo, who has not announced a 2022 re-election campaign yet, is facing investigations by the state's Attorney General's office and the legislature's Judiciary Committee over sexual misconduct allegations. Next, what we know about a lawsuit surrounding the fatal accident at the county landfill last year, and later details of Jamestown's first annual Gay Pride Festival. That and more as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Honest John's has what you're looking for. When you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today, online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
The George Barone Jr. Scholarship Fund is hosting its first annual Rummage and Bag Sale fundraiser. An inductee in the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, Barone managed, coached, and assisted in youth baseball for 64 years in and around the Jamestown area. 100% of proceeds generated will be donated, which will provide scholarships to graduating Southwestern Central School seniors who partake in athletics. Learn more by checking out the scholarship on Facebook and joining us for the fundraising event. There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The family of the man killed in an accident at Chautauqua County's landfill last year has filed a lawsuit against the county's government. The suit, filed in Chautauqua County Supreme Court, is seeking financial damages in the death of 56-year-old Scott Deming Sr. The Westfield resident died in August after he was run over by a bulldozer pushing a large pile of garbage that Deming was standing behind. The county sheriff's office says he worked for an independent commercial business that was using the county's landfill facility. His family's attorney says the county is negligent for not ensuring the landfill was a safe place to work. Furthermore, the suit claims the county was not in compliance with safety laws. The Chautauqua County Landfill, County Department of Public Facilities, and Chautauqua County government have all been named in the legal action. Well, New York State has launched a new initiative to fund economic development in a post-COVID world. Governor Andrew Cuomo says different regions have until July 30th to apply for economic development funding to aid in the recovery of the pandemic. In total, more than $750 million in the state's economic development resources will be available. He called for big ideas and bold action during a press conference in New York City.
And this is a time to think outside the box. This is a time to think big. This is a time to think transformative. This is a time to reimagine. Just get your head to a different place. Don't be limited by your old view of, well, this is all we can do. These are our limitations. There are no limitations.
Cuomo also announced a new public awareness campaign about rebuilding New York City and the state, narrated by Robert De Niro, Whoopi Goldberg, and Billy Joel. Well, more and more gas stations on the East Coast are running out of gas as people anxiously fill up their tanks after a ransomware attack shut down a crucial pipeline. As Britt Conway reports, there's not a fuel shortage right now, but fear could fuel one.
Panic at the pump.
No, it's out.
After a ransomware attack shut down the Colonial Pipeline Friday, which is still mostly offline. The 5,500-mile pipeline supplies about 45% of all fuel used on the East Coast, where nervous drivers have been lining up and filling up. Station after station is running out.
We don't have no more.
AAA says the price of a gallon of gas has shot up more than 7 cents in the last week. Certainly, demand is up, but what about supply?
It's not that we have a gasoline shortage, it's that we have this supply crunch.
Meaning the fear of running out of fuel is fueling supply issues.
Let me emphasize that much as there was no cause for, say, hoarding toilet paper at the beginning of the pandemic, there should be no cause for hoarding gasoline.
This will probably be all cleared up in a few days, maybe by the end of the week if we're lucky. The U.S. has a fairly large supply of gasoline in reserve.
By the end of today, Colonial Pipeline could make a decision about a full restart. But just in case it's delayed, a number of states and the EPA have taken emergency steps to ease supply concerns. In the meantime, officials are asking for patience before pumping.
It will take a few days to ramp up operations.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Britt, thank you. Right now, the average price for a gallon of gas here in Jamestown is just under $3 a gallon at $2.99. Well, it turns out every bird has trouble dating, and chicken is in short supply, and Tyson is partly blaming its roosters. Get this, the company says it's tried out a new kind of them, and their breeding birds aren't living up to their get up and go farmyard stereotype. So now Tyson is changing flocks. It's bringing the original kind of male bird home to roost. It's not just the lives of birds crushing the shortage, though. Tyson says a winter storm has affected some of its operations, and it's had trouble retaining workers since poultry plants have been closed due to COVID-19 hotspots. Well, it certainly makes chicken wings expensive out there. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. The tweeters can't find the right amount of love, I guess, in this post-COVID world.
I'm right there.
You feel the roosters
I
out
totally
there.
understand.
It's good to see Chad. Good to see Jason, Lindsay, and Austin as well. Hopefully you all are having a great day. We appreciate you tuning in for a check of some headlines. And chicken wings are expensive. We had a little get-together over the weekend, ordered pizza, but didn't get any chicken because of the price. And it's not the fault of these local places like our friends at Honest John's. It's just how it is right now with the shortage. They really can't really adjust how much they're buying it for. So
yeah, and then plus I think there's also shortages of chicken wings at the store, like the frozen ones that you kind of cook yourself. I think those are even starting to become in short supply now.
And the ones that are there, the prices are going up. So
it's a good thing we have a packet of frozen chicken wings in the freezer.
Yeah, it's like before COVID. Remember when we stocked
Shouldn't
up
have said that.
on all? Yeah, someone will be coming over to your house to get some chicken wings tonight. It's like when we stocked up on all the cleaning supplies. You know, we didn't know this was going to happen, and we just happened to, at the start of the year, we went through and we said, well, what do we need to buy?
Right.
Well, let's buy this kind of stuff. We'll do it for the whole year, and boy, it's a good thing we did. So. Well, a lot of people are looking to this good weather that is out there. However, we know as we head through the spring and the summer, severe weather makes its way, and I know that you and the National Weather Service do a lot of work to try to get people involved and help out in spotting for severe weather. I know there's a couple courses coming up.
Yes, we do. We have another course that is coming up tonight, and Andrew mentioned this yesterday. That storm spotter training comes up tonight at 7 o'clock from the National Weather Service in Buffalo. And of course, this is the online storm spotter training. You have to register for this as spots are limited. So to register, the link is weather.gov/BUF/Skywarn. And on the Skywarn page, you just click the link for the one that you want to register for. If you want to go for tonight, click on the one for tonight. There's also one coming up, I think, next week or in 2 weeks. That'll be the final one of the spring. So we highly recommend this. We need more spotters out there. It's only the spotters that see down at the ground, and we need more of them. Now, so far, May has been relatively chilly. Have you noticed? The average temperature for the month going from the 1st to the 10th is 49.4 degrees. But believe it or not, last year was much colder. At this time last year, the average monthly temperature actually was around 43 degrees. There it is. 45.3 degrees was the average temperature for the month dating from May 1st to the 10th. So it was much colder at this time of the year last year. And so we've definitely had worse out there. There is a frost advisory that is in place for all of the southern tier and portions of Northwestern Pennsylvania, which includes Warren County. And this is for more frost developing overnight as temperatures fall to around below freezing in some of the valley locations. So the frost will be coming up past the patchy area to full-on widespread. So this will be a widespread frost event, widespread patchy frost. And don't forget, the average date of our last frost is June 1st through June 10th, looking at 30-year average climate records. That goes from 1990 to 2020. Every 20 years or every 30 years, the climate records change to reflect that. So the new date is June 1st through June 10th. There's some of those cumulus clouds downtown that we talked about just a few minutes ago. Right now, we're at 52 degrees, a north wind of 17, and we have a wind gust of 30, so it is breezy, and the wind chill down to 47. So that's what it's feeling like when you combine the air temperature and the wind together. There are those cumulus clouds showing up on the satellite imagery, and again, these are all kind of moving. These are kind of developing north to south, and again, they're cumulus clouds, which is fair weather clouds. No rain is going to be falling out of them. That's the good news, and we have high pressure set up to our north and west. You can see for miles and miles and miles. I don't know the name of that song. That's the only part of the song I know, but you can see for miles and miles with that high pressure ridge, severe weather down on the Florida Peninsula, but all of that will stay away as the next weather maker really is high pressure moving in. So there are those cumulus clouds showing up on the future scan. They actually go away this evening and tonight. Tonight should be partly to mostly clear. NASA's rocket launch hopefully will be tonight. It's been delayed several days because of upper air winds, but hopefully they'll launch it tonight, and we may see the vapor cloud overnight tonight. And then as we go into tomorrow, future scan does pop up a couple isolated showers in Cattaraugus County. I don't think those are going to materialize. The majority of the day tomorrow will be nice and dry with a sun and cloud mix. So here we go with the zone forecast. The inland areas today, we're likely going to top out in the mid to upper 50s today for most areas. It's a near perfect sky but the temperatures really are going to struggle. I'm proud to say the next 7 days of your life are right here on the screen. 60 tomorrow, 61 on Friday. A small chance for a shower, but I wouldn't worry about that. I think the day should be mainly dry. The weekend, get out and enjoy it. Fantastic. Good amount of sunshine, temperatures mid to upper 60s. And both Monday and Tuesday, small chance for a shower. I wouldn't worry about that either, but it's just a very small chance. We'll take a break. Be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Slow down. Slow down and move over. Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights, vests,
please give us some room.
slow down. Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
to help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger. This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Well, after more than a year of uncertainty because of COVID-19, Jamestown Pride will have its first festival next month. Organizers of the Jamestown Pride, an LGBTQI and Supportive Allies event, announced during a meeting last night that the festival will take place July 12th at the Jamestown Public Market on 3rd Street. The festival was canceled last June because of the pandemic, which left the future of a Pride festival in question. Coordinator Sheridan Smith acknowledged that organizers saw a shift in where they allocated funding as COVID continued. Smith, however, says that the group never saw a drop in financial support.
You know, the organizations that backed us moved right into the new year with us. So, you know, this turned out a lot better than anyone could have anticipated a year ago. So we are doing absolutely fine financially.
Now, gay pride and pride culture will be celebrated in a family-friendly manner at the Jamestown Public Market along 3rd that day. For more details, you can check out our story now at WNYNewsNow.com. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. This festival, Dakota, pretty significant in the fact that this would be the first gay pride event that would be taking place in Jamestown's history. And I know last year, even amid COVID, for the first time, they flew a gay pride flag above City Hall. Mayor Eddie Sundquist, if folks do not know, is the first openly gay mayor of Jamestown. So he took that initiative upon him amid all that was happening. And they were hoping to hold something, but unfortunately because of gathering restrictions could not. But this summer it's looking like as more and more people get that shot in the arm, maybe we could get back to some life as normal. So it will be great to see. And I know Pam mentioned in the group, you were talking about the song The Who. I actually thought that's what it was, but leave it to our friend Pam, who tunes in every day. We appreciate it, to give us some good old knowledge about what our tunes are.
I knew the song, but I didn't know the name.
Yeah.
Or who the artist was.
Or
so
who the artist was.
Who. But no, you know, about the gay pride thing, you know, I've been open about the fact that I'm gay myself. And, you know, I think having, and, you know, some people will say, well, why do we need to have gay pride? We don't have straight pride. Look, if you're not part of the LGBTQ community, you really don't know what it's like to kind of have these feelings and kind of wonder for years about, okay, you know, do I come out, or how do I come out? Because, you know, people who are LGBTQ are in many cases afraid of coming out because of the fear of their parents, their families, their friends. And, you know, even though it's more socially accepted now than it was, say, 20, 30 years ago, there's still some people out there who kind of think, well, you know, being, you know, this way is gay, and why did you go this way? Look, I mean, I didn't turn this way by any way. This is just the way I was made.
Just like Lady Gaga says in her song Born This Way, absolutely. And looking at it as I'd say a straight ally to you, one of my closest friends, love having you on the broadcast every day and working with you. Everybody has different feelings in their life, and I think they should express that. And for a long time, as history has shown, no matter what you believe, being gay was suppressed. And it's about time that there is that celebration. So I'm all for it, and I think it's incredible. So Dakota, I totally accept you, and we'll have to go down and have some fun when that event kicks up.
I actually do plan to be there, so if you want your 8x10 glossy signed, because remember, I'm kind of a big deal, baby. See you tomorrow.